Well, hello. How are you doing this morning, afternoon, evening, night? Whatever time of day it currently is for this planet. I myself am doing pretty well, and for today's video I have quite the adventurous story time. But first, let us go ahead and discover who the universe has chosen for today's opponent. Fajar from Indonesia will be the opponent for today, and yes, quite the adventurous story time. It was senior year of high school spring break at the beach with two of my closest friends and my parents, and I'm not going to give the full story time on what happened the entire spring break because it was definitely again an adventurous story time, and so I'm only going to talk about two things that happened. So again, I was with my two friends, my parents. We went to the beach for spring break, and the Airbnb, just to set the setting for the story, the Airbnb was two floors, like a 5-minute walk to the beach. And these two friends that I had, two of my closest friends at the time, let's just say they were frequent users of the devil's lettuce, and at this time I was not. I tried it a few times here and there, but I was not frequent users like my friends were. And actually, one of my friends brought the devil's lettuce. You may be thinking, how do you do that? So we were able to do that because I drove my car and my parents drove theirs. So we were in separate cars. I'm not sure how it would have went if my friend brought the goods or while we were all driving in the same car, right? I can only imagine my parents would have. They would have been like, yeah, what's that smell there? Because I know this because actually, I think the second day we were there, and let me set the setting even more actually. But first, let me castle into safety. And you know what? Before I castle, I'm actually going to do this just so nothing funny can happen, and you're going to go ahead and check us. I will now move my knights like that, both knights supporting each other, castle. This should turn out to be an interesting one, but anyways, yes. Set the setting even more. My friend who brought the devil's lettuce was upstairs with my parents. There were two big rooms upstairs. My parents had the master, my friend had the one next to my parents. And my other friend and I slept downstairs in a room with two beds, smaller room with two beds. That's an interesting move by my opponents. Now, I do have a weakness here, actually. My pawns are a little too overdeveloped, I would say, and it's this side, there's no way I can castle, so I may have to hold off on castling a little bit this game. But yes, the second day in, my friends with the devil's lettuce, he actually had a roof that he could go out onto and indulge in the devil's lettuce. And it was morning time, the sun was out, my parents were away. My friend and I, who were sleeping downstairs, we were in the living room, just chilling out. And my friend upstairs, he could have been doing whatever at that moment. I'm not too sure. Actually, I am very sure at what he was doing, because when my parents walked in, immediately they were suspicious. They were like, they smelled the smell. And if you don't think the devil's lettuce is as potent as you think it is, well, try again. It is extremely potent. If you think you've just got done indulging the devil's lettuce and you come home and you have an interaction with your parents, you better believe there is a pretty high chance that that they smell the smells that are going on. Anyways, I'm going to put my knight right here just so I can go ahead and activate this bishop. And they walked in and they were like, huh, there's some, what is that smell? And immediately they're like, are you guys indulging in the devil's lettuce? We were like, we're just chilling in the living room. We have no idea what is going on. And my opponent blunders the knight. We will go ahead and swoop that up. We were like, now I know my friend has the devil's lettuce upstairs, and obviously it's him. But I'm not gonna be a snitch. I can't just rat my friend out. I'm gonna let him. I'm just gonna deny accusations. And they called my friend down, and they were like, "Are you indulging? Are you indulging?" He was like, "No, I'm not." So that was the first crazy thing that happened. My parents were catching on to some stuff, but they did not. They were like, "Oh, it's probably our son. It's probably our son." I'm like, what did I do? I'm innocent. I'm an innocent person in this very situation, but nobody ratted. And yeah, that was that. But that was not even anywhere close to the craziest thing that happened on spring break. The craziest thing, so we actually met a good amount of people at the beach. And when you go to the beach, it's always fun to meet like another group of people, so you can hang out, you can meet up anytime. It's just a good time. You're at the beach talking to people, making friends, and we had a couple groups that we could actually hang out with. And you're at the beach, you're like, what can we do? Let's hang out with the group. Now I do have this pawn that is looking very, very juicy, but I'm worried about any counterattacks. My opponent is absolutely looking to go right here. But I believe this is just a free pawn, and I'm going to take it because now I can just come back. And I'm doing fine. I took your pawn like a fishing rod, and I'm just going to reel it back in. You know what I mean? So there we go. So yes, we linked with the groups like every day. Some group we went to go play basketball with them. I think there were two brothers. They had their own Airbnb. We went to go play basketball with them. There was another group. It was a very active spring break with strangers. Strangers, I guess friends at this point. And one night, the craziest night of the entire spring break, it was nighttime. The sun was down. It was dark. Oh, that is a good move by my opponent. Now I am going to have to figure out what I want to do. I think I am going to go like this, though. Attack that queen. It was nighttime, and there was a bench. There was a table, a wooden table with, you know what I'm talking, like the picnic tables that you see at the parks, right? On the beach, and we're all sitting in the sand or on the tables in the sand. We're doing the whole, high school questions kinds of things. I'm not going to get into detail on what the questions were, but if you're a high schooler on the beach, you can only imagine what kind of stuff we're talking about. So yeah, we're doing all that kind of thing, and one guy, he pulls out from his bag. It was like this length. It was the length of a pencil. I'm not going to go too much into description, but it was an entirely different form of the devil's lettuce, the wax form. So my opponent goes here. That's interesting. And you know what? I'm actually going to take that bishop right there. I'm liking that very much, because now if you take with the queen, I am coming in with the knight. So there we have it. This game is looking pretty good. The odds are looking in our favor. But yes, the guy pulls it out, pulls the device out, and I was like, what is that? I had never seen that ever before, right? And my other friends were explaining, it was like, you may want to hold back on this one, right? You may want to hold back because it's a more potent way of indulging or consuming the devil's lesson. Again, I was a beginner at this time, so now I am looking actually at taking this rook right here, but I'm still worried about what's going on over here. If you take, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm going to go ahead and take your rook. You know, we're 2 minutes behind in time, and I need to make some decisions here. So I was expecting that, yes. And I was actually also expecting you to take here. Oh, maybe that wasn't the greatest move that I could have done. Okay. Yeah, no, maybe it wasn't. Maybe that wasn't the move, and I have just given my opponent a way back into this game because now you can obviously just take this rook. Okay. I made a mistake. Definitely made a mistake, but we're still in the lead here. We're still winning here. We're still up material, a good amount of material. So we're still doing fine. The odds are still are in our favor. But that I was probably getting a little too greedy there. Anyways, so yes, we're all passing around the pencil. We're all passing around the pencil, and it gets to me, right? And my friend, who I was rooming with in the room downstairs, he was like, "You may want to, just take 2 hits and see how you feel." I'm like, I'm going in. I'm like, you know what? It's spring break. I'm having a good time with my friends. And I'm taking like 5, 6, like deep pulls here. And let's just say I was no longer on the same field of wave. I was not on the same wavelength, in the same dimension. I was completely catapulted into a completely other realm of existence and identity, and like. At one point, I was just, and the feeling was just, I can feel everything, the beach, the sound, I can hear everything, and like unconsciously, I just started pushing my foot into the sand. There was sand up to my shin, but the sand just felt so good. I was just putting my hands into the sand, like my feet into the sand. My friend he was cracking up. He's like, what are you doing? Well, my friend, I am completely gone. Well, my opponent decided to resign. I'm not too sure why they resigned. I thought they had a fighting chance, but they did not believe the same. And I'm just going to play a quick little 5-minute game just to finish the rest of the story. So yes, I was completely out of it, like putting my feet in the sand completely, my legs completely in the sand, my shins. I'm grabbing the large amounts of sand and just squeezing them, watching the sand fall out. And at this point, we're all pretty elevated, right? And just imagine a group of around 8 high schoolers at like 2 a.m. in this kind of mind state, having a good old time. A lot of things can go wrong, and one thing almost did go wrong where I thought we were going to be on the news. So one of the guys had a golf cart. I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm just going with flow. At this point, whatever happens, happens. and I am completely out of control. I just completely embraced anything and everything that was happening. So we got pretty hungry, and so we drove to Whataburger and we crammed on this golf cart. Like, the golf cart is over capacity, which is not the smartest idea. But my friends are on the back of the golf cart. I am in the second row, and at one point the road is pretty empty at this time. But there's a car coming. And the freaking driver decided to, I don't know if he did it on accident or doing it on purpose. Again, I was completely out of it, had no idea. I was just going like this. He started turning a little bit, and he got on two wheels. And there was a flash moment where I'm like, we're done. We are done for. We are going to be on the news. A group of 8 high school students on spring break get absolutely obliterated by a car. That was the headline I was envisioning. I look back, and I actually see my friends getting ready to hop off if anything crazy goes on. And again, there's nothing I can do. I am literally sandwiched in between two people, sandwiched in between however many people on the golf cart. We're going like this. There's nothing I can do. Fortunately, we do not crash. We get back onto all 4 wheels, and it was one of those kinds of things. But we get to Whataburger, and the line is pretty long. The line is pretty long, longer than I expected it would be, and we were waiting in line for a good amount of time. Actually, and I knew at this point, right, because my parents are not overly protective, but they're definitely protective, and I was like, I just had a feeling that my parents are wondering what the freak is going on with me, right? I just had the feeling that my parents were a little concerned. And as we're pulling out of Whataburger, I got my milkshake, I got my burger, nothing can bother me at this point. And I get a text from my parents, and it is not in a happy tone. I can clearly see that they were pretty frustrated. All right, they're like, "Where are you at? You need to get home." You need to get back home. And for a quick second, I was like, oh. And then after that second went by, I was like, I am completely gone. Whatever happens, happens. Fate is out of my control at this point. I was just happy that I had my burger and milkshake. That is literally all. I'm going to go ahead and take that dark squared bishop. Don't mind if I do. We get home. My parents are like, come here. I go into their room, and it feels like I am at school. It literally felt like I was at school at the principal's office, and all I hear is, no. I see my parents are in the bed. I'm just standing in the dark room while they're scolding me, and like I just hear nothing, and it literally felt like I was at the principal's office. I'm like, yeah. I'm not like, yeah. In my head, I'm like, okay, I get it. I got it. You know, just let me eat my burger and my milkshake. And they stop scolding. Go back to my room. And we all have a get together in my room, and it was a great time. I had my milkshake. I just got done eating my burger. Oh no. Reverse. I had the milkshake actually for a minute, because we went to Whataburger earlier. Got my milkshake. Put it in the fridge. So I was anticipating the milkshake at this point the whole night. We did go to Whataburger on the go-kart. That all stuff. I don't know if I got food though. Okay, I just had a blank blank memory lapse right there. But anyways, I had a milkshake at the end of the day. At the end of the day, right? Now I'm probably going to go ahead and stack my rooks, or should I take? I'm gonna go ahead and take here. Had my milkshake, and I was literally laying down in the bed with my milkshake like this, just. And my friends they're laughing. We're all having a good time, and yeah, that's the end of the story. Great times, great times. Can never be lived again, but it's always good to revisit some memories, and that definitely for sure was a memory to be told, a story to be told. Well, that's unfortunate. We get checkmated, and I literally told myself that this guy is trying to set up the checkmate with this bishop over here, but I just kind of blank-minded a little bit and just forgot about the game. But yeah, well, we get checkmated. It happens. But literally, I saw it. I saw it coming. Happens. What can you do? And well, that will be all for today. I hope you have found peace in your day, and I will see you in the next one.